I do the dishes. I don't know why this is zoomed in so much, but it is. And I'm doing the dishes with y'all because I am trying to get 1,000 followers so I can go live on TikTok. Because I like to go live on TikTok. I'd like to go live on TikTok. I like the other thing where you go live on. I forgot it starts with a B. But they were crazy. And they were racist. One time I held something in my mouth when I was looking for the batteries for it. It was like a coffee stir. And because of that, they reported me. I was literally holding it to go, but because they shut off my account for days. I bet if it was a different color, it wouldn't be a friggin' issue. But because it was black and not white, they banned my account for holding it in my mouth, literally with my teeth. Well, I looked for something looking for something, but I bet if it was a different color, it wouldn't be a friggin' issue, you know? Crazy. Absolutely crazy. I know, actually. If they're going to report you for something that dumb, it's because it's, whatever the color is, 15 minutes and 12 seconds. That's as long as I can make this. Is that what's going on here? 15 minutes and 12 seconds. Am I recording over something, I wonder? Alright. These off well. Isn't this really cool? Found it in my attic. It's probably really old. It says Anchor Hocking Mason. And then the other side is mason. I cannot wait to get a lot of mason jars and just canning jars when I get that stimulus check. I really do need to start canning and saving my foods. You know, I honestly, this apartment is made for it. I have a canning cabinet right on the other side of this door that's built into the wall. I really don't want to say this out loud, but since I got heat, I'm really loving this apartment. But I was without heat for a really long time. The furnace was broken, and it was just, I don't know if bureaucracy is the same word, but some kind of a insanity. Anyways, I had a lot of excuses for it at the time. I spent most of the day outside. It was better that it didn't have heat, so I didn't get sick. Pneumonia, or that was my favorite one to use, or it's just she hasn't dropped off the space heaters yet, or she dropped off the space heaters, which was 1 or 2 space heaters for this entire apartment. Most of the time 1 or none, or I just don't have any space heaters myself because she would fix the heat to take the space heaters. And then the heat would break again, or the fuses would break, and then they'd not be able to turn on. All sorts of insanity. That's why I really need to keep my phone on and alive, because if I don't, my heat goes off again. Because as long as I can call and complain and keep a documented record of not having heat, so that my landlord doesn't, my property manager's boss doesn't get the correct money from the state for the rent if all the utilities aren't on, if there's a portion of the rent that gets taken off, and especially if it's the heat and the hot water, or the heat and the hasn't been the heat and the hot water, thank God, or the heat and the electricity. So the case manager can take off the amount, how many days it's been off, or a month, or I don't know the exact workings of it. I think it's per day. I really hope it's per day. I think it's per day. But you know what really, besides the phone, having my own space heaters really made me have like a clutch on the scenario, because then I wasn't waiting for her to drop off the space heaters, or they break. I didn't break on my break. I don't know. I don't want to point fingers, because I have a lot of weird things happening in my apartment. People always try to tell me I'm crazy. Somebody robbed the entire closet that I had for my husband of clothes, and I know it wasn't him because he was in jail, and I put them all in there. I mean, maybe he did sell some of them because they were of worth, but not all of them. He got them the day he found out his father died. He had to go to his funeral. It was really sad, but I'm dragging clothes upon clothes upon clothes up the street. He's yelling at me, and then his aunt comes up. He yells, but he knows he needs, I don't know why he's yelling. He needs the damn clothes, but he just likes to yell sometimes. I don't know. Then his aunt, she comes up and tells him that his father has passed away, and it was very sad. It was very, very sad. And then he had to get dressed for the funeral. He did. His father had Alzheimer's, so he didn't talk to him for a while. I guess it's difficult to talk to people with Alzheimer's. He told me he did have a relationship for a while. They would hang out and stuff, but he had a new wife, and he was raised a lot of his life by his stepfather. But I kind of get that he was a little close to his father. But anyway, he doesn't talk about it. He still keeps the flower. Still keep a flower. I hope I still keep a flower. This is a mess, especially when it comes to planty things. From we used to also keep a flower from his niece's funeral. That was sad. That was really ugly. You know what I can't stand about this neighborhood is that we bury and we see the masses of our dead right across the street from our major lifeline. It's the hot spot. It's the place that sells Lucy's and stuff. There's 2 other stores, but constantly, for one reason or another, this place seems to just be everybody's lifeline. Even though I'm, honestly 4 feet away from the country market, there's always one reason or another. They're not taking EBT. They're not taking debit, only credit. Nobody here got credit, excuse me, people here got credit. I don't got no credit. Not the only one. There's no Lucy's, no heavy half and half, and then if you don't have it, there's no regular milk, or there's just constantly always a reason to go right to the hot spot for our lifeline. And I imagine, I've never had to bury anybody, but there is something that gravitates everybody to where they're dead there. So every time, you're going to, the hot spot in the middle of the day, on any given day, there is a funeral, and it's so confusing, It's like, I feel like there's this other place in my head that this all happens that's not across the street from the hot spot, Even though I see them there, and I've been there once, or I feel like more than once, but once, I feel like there's like a different place in my head for where we actually take part in where everybody goes to be vigilant, and if you're lucky. And most of the people I know actually that died, they didn't have a vigilante that people were told about or whatever. Just the one. People die a lot around here. I think this might be either where people go when they die, or there's just something bad in the drugs. Might be, but a lot. my hand, I can say. They say Reggie died, but Reggie's back from the dead. I don't know what the hell happened to him, but Rock, Mustang, Pookie, those are just top three people off the top of my head that were my friends. There are more. There's Stanley. There's even more. I can't even think of them off the. Young kid down the street, car accident, a motorcycle accident. A lot. It's really sad. Really sad. And then the most expensive funeral you can get, right? These horses drag you down the neighborhood in this beautiful little see-through carriage. But every time those horses stink to high heaven. It's the most insulting thing I could ever imagine. They chalk it up to, some studly idea. And of course it's true, and of course that's what's up. But I yell at those motherfuckers every time. There's a second or two, it just doesn't make sense. It is not logical. And the good that the deceased had done in their life doesn't shine through the unnecessariness. A couple moments, I still don't get it. Stinky fucking horses. Well, anyway. I know I'm forgetting a lot of people that died. Pop was really old. Pop used to like young boys, though. He was very vigorous. Hot boys, too. My God. He let us sleep on his floor. Just let everybody sleep on his floor. Unless there's a young hot guy there. I was not on the floor. I don't know if he really was sexually into them or just metaphorically, spiritually, mentory. I gotta do the dishes. And we only have 3 minutes left. So, it's enough talking about the Ville. I want to say people have stopped dying. This thing just died. God, I hope he didn't say his cousin died. The guy with the big eyes, freaking, Martin. Oh, God. I hope he didn't die. Is there Grover? No one's seen Grover. I hope he's not dead. Everybody just thinks it's sad. It's really sad. I know, there's nothing really to talk about after that. I hope it doesn't continue. I hope things get better for us here in this neighborhood. Legalization of drugs will really help. People are gonna do drugs. Like, it's drugs. It's we can control the physical emotions we feel. We are a consciousness with a physical body. Like, we can consciously control the physical things we experience. People are gonna do that. It's like asking us not to eat or furthermore asking us not to wash our asses. It's just not comfortable. It's not beneficial, Number one thing on people's minds is the painkillers. We're at war in this country. It's against painkillers. It makes no sense to me. And I'm some kind of a stereotypical, skanky, crazy girl for feeling that's insane. All the people imprisoned and jailed years and years and years. And that is a labor force right there.